Hello everybody, this is Bonnie with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I have a bridal bouquet that I need to put together. It's going to include white calla lilies, standard white callas, and these are called Bridal white roses. I also have some white caspia that we're going to tuck in and a little bit of green dragon. So I'm going to start out, and it's just going to be a regular hand tied. Now callas are a little different. They're pointy, they're just a little different. So it's not going to look like a traditional bouquet that you've seen me put together before. So what I do is I just start out with my callas and I just try and make, I'm just going to hold them in my hand and arrange them in a handheld bouquet. Now I am not using a hydrangea, which you've seen me use most of the time. Dropped one on the floor. Most of the time you see me use a hydrangea as a base, and today I'm not. I'm just going to hand tie these callas together. After I get the callas in place, I am going to take my white roses and tuck them in and fill them in. So you can see how heavy the stems are. I'm going to go ahead and trim back some of these stems just because they're heavy. It's a really thick stem and it's really full of water, and so they tend to get a little heavy, so that's why I went ahead and started to cut those back. I'm going to just continue with my callas. And I'm just arranging them in my hand, and they get a little, these stems are pretty thick, and so it gets to be a handful. Bring those back. So I've just about got all the callas. They're not the easiest flower to work with, but they're so big and elegant. Okay, so there's our callas. I'm going to trim back those stems again just because of the weight. Okay, so there's my handful of calla lilies. So next what I'm going to do is I am going to take these Bridal roses. I'm blowing them just a little bit to open them up some, and I am just going to tuck them down into the voids of this bouquet. So you can kind of see where there's a little void there. I'm just going to work that rose right down into that space, just to kind of fill in. I'm holding this bouquet up against my body, and I'm doing that. Number one, it's a little heavy, and so I just find it's a little easier to hold and to control if I hold it up against me. If your hand's big enough to hold it, feel free to just hold it one-handed. I just find that it's a little easier if I hold it kind of up against me. So I'm just working those roses just right in to this bouquet. I'm just turning, just working them right in. Now you need to be careful with these callas because they will bruise. So kind of be careful when working with them. They're little, I guess that's a petal. I'm not exactly sure. The little fluted part of the calla tends to be a little fragile and it'll bruise. Hey Victoria. I'm going to get Victoria to come in, and she's going to hold this bouquet for me so that I can place the roses in. Can I get you to come in and just hold this bouquet in your hands like this for me? So what it's going to do for me is when she holds the bouquet, then I can arrange the roses in the bouquet exactly how I'd like them. So this is Victoria. Victoria works here with us, and she is on our videos for Facebook all the time. She's the voice on the videos. And so this is the face of our Victoria. I'm going to just slide a rose into your fingers right here. Just going to slide it down in. So all I'm doing is I am just taking that rose and I'm just positioning it, if that word sounded right. I'm just placing it exactly where I'd like for it to be in this bouquet. So Victoria is lightly holding the arrangement. Can you turn it in your hands? There we go. I'm going to put one over here on this side. Slide it down. I'm not trying to poke you. Is it? When you get a bouquet with such large stems, sometimes it's easier just to call in a friend. All right, Victoria, if you'll show them with the top of the bouquet, so you can see how the roses are just kind of inside the lilies, just kind of fill in those spaces. Now I'm going to take a little bit of caspia, and we're just going to I'm cutting it into some smaller pieces, and Victoria's just going to catch it with her fingers. We're just going to kind of lay it just to give us just a little bit of a ring around this bouquet, and just to add just a little touch of extra. It's big, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to catch it. Try to get it under this one. Okay, so next what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape this bouquet. It's big and it's clunky, and so it's hard to handle. I'm kind of moving that down just a smidge. Now, Victoria, if you'll hold it like this towards me. I like it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and take some tape, and I'm going to tape the stems of this bouquet. So then it's a little easier. It's going to be a little easier for us to handle and to add more to it. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of taping right this second. I'm just going to tape enough that it's going to keep all the things that we've done together. Okay, so I've taped it. Now Victoria can let go of a hand, and we can add a little more to it. I'm going to keep adding a little bit more caspia, I think, to ring around the edges. So I thought some would be pretty there. And let's see. Over here needs a little. When making a larger bouquet like this, it's always nice to have a little bit of help. And there are times when I've said, okay, hold this and let me step back and look. And you can always, if you're doing this by yourself and you don't have someone with you, you can always use a mirror and do exactly the same thing. Or you can walk in there and just kind of hold it in front of the mirror and see what it looks like and see if you like it. If you don't like it, you can always change it, okay? I'll be real honest, I don't work with standard callas very often. And so it's really fun because it's something that's so different. You know, it's something that we don't use very often, so it's fun to kind of work with them. Under your hand without poking your fingers. All right, does it need a little more, I think, of this? It's really pretty. It really turned out very nice, didn't it? me look at it. I think we need just a little there, and I think we can call it pretty. So I'm going to add just a little under this hand. All right, now you can show the camera. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it again. Calla lilies, like I said, have a really thick stem. I mean, thicker than my thumb thick, okay? And because they're so filled with water, they tend to get a little heavy. And so that's the reason you saw me cut off. I think it looks okay. What do you think?
Yeah. I tried to maneuver one.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it looks nice. Okay. So you kind of need to cut the stems a little shorter just so that she's going to be able to hold it in this wedding. But you can see it's just a really large hand-held bouquet. All right, so all I did was take some waterproof tape. This is just, we call it bulldog tape here, but it's just a waterproof green tape. I like to use tape because it doesn't cut into the stems of flowers. This is what we call a double-faced satin ribbon. It's just pretty on both sides. I'm going to take that and just cut a very small piece. And we're going to lay it right here. I'm going to lay my bouquet down and I'm going to put it to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this ribbon. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. I'm going to take this ribbon and wrap it right around that tape so you can't see that tape, okay? And then I'm going to fold this in to give us a pretty finish. Pull it tight. And then I'm going to use a couple of corsage pins. Now corsage pins are pretty long, about a 1-inch little pin that has a pearl head. The reason I like to use a corsage pin is it almost looks like a little pearl button. And I'm just pushing it right in to that ribbon and pushing it. I usually go up towards the flowers. And the reason I like to go up is because if you go down, you never know if that pin's going to come out the side and bite someone's hand. So I made just 3 little buttons there, basically, okay? And so this is how she will hold this bouquet. She'll hold it low, and when a bride, this bride is actually going to come and pick up her flowers. So when she comes and picks up her flowers, I am going to explain to her how to hold her bouquet in her pictures. But you always want to kind of explain it to your bride because they tend to want to walk down that aisle and hold it up high. So when they're walking on someone's arm, people want to hold their bouquets too high. Always drop that bouquet to your waist. And if you can put your arm right there on your waist, you're holding your bouquet correctly, okay? So lastly, all I'm gonna do is just take some snips and I'm just gonna clean up the stems. I'm just gonna go through and cut those stems to the length that I need them to be. And then how she's going to, I'm actually going to get some more snips, but how she'll carry this bouquet, how we will care for this bouquet is we're going to put it in a vase of water, and then it'll be placed in a box so it's easy for her to take with her. But there is our Calla and Rose handheld bouquet. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. And we do want to say thank you for all of those who have subscribed. We are so thankful for you following us. And you can always follow us on all our other social media too. Guys, have a wonderful day and we'll see you real soon.